Hello, friends. Tia, your San Francisco Bay Area luxury specialist here. I'm so delighted because today I get to respond to a listener, watcher comment, or question about where the market is headed. So that is what today's video is about. Where is the market headed? In particular, last quarter of this year, 2020, this amazing and cuckoo year. So, anywho, if you are interested in real estate, like this video, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. But let's get to it. Where are we headed? So, I actually have drawn a horrible graph, but hopefully it'll give you, I don't even know if you can see that. Can you see that? Okay, so what's happening here is this is the year. So this is January all the way to December. And then here on this axis, I'm using that to represent, ooh, it got kind of, all right, to represent either the number of offers per property, but you could also use that to represent the number of closes because generally that tracks pretty well. And if you'll see, there's two peaks, right? There's a peak that's generally early to midsummer. And then there's, surprisingly, another peak that happens around October. So this cycle has tracked certainly for the last 2 years. And I actually got this from another company, but it actually tracks very closely from what I have noticed in particular in the Oakland market. And it'll be very interesting to see if this year is the same. My thought is that that first peak is going to push. In years past, it was like end of June. But I'm going to say that first peak is going to push to basically now, last mid to last week of July. And as you see here, it's not coming straight down like this. It's a gradual kind of cessation of a relatively gradual cessation of number of offers and closes, and then it goes back up to that peak again. So because of the shutdown, I mean, a lot of us kept working all the way through, but a lot of buyers couldn't actually go into the properties for the first month as real estate, organized real estate, tried to figure out how to show properties safely. And we've mastered that now. So both listing agents and buyer's agents are sanitizing properties. We have forms that are protecting the sellers when people are coming in and out of properties, obviously not showing the properties to people who are sick or have been sick. So I personally feel very comfortable showing properties. Everyone's been great about social distancing. So we're doing a lot better as far as that's concerned. So we are showing properties, and it's regulated. So there's no open houses, there's no brokers tours, but properties are still selling because you're down to the folks that are really genuinely interested in purchasing. So the question was, were we tracking as usual as far as the business cycle is concerned? And we are not in October yet, so I cannot say, but we are certainly, this little bump here is kind of pushed over as far as instead of this peak being more June, sometimes even May. I'm going to say this is going to be now, so third to fourth week in July. If we are not locked down again, then I'm going to say that it's going to continue on through August because there's still so much demand. And folks just haven't had a chance to get into contract yet. Generally people make about 4 or 5 offers, and sometimes more, depending on the areas that they're considering and, this, strategy or lack thereof of their agent. So people, I don't think, have got their numbers up as far as offers are concerned, and so we will see that move into August. And as I said, though, we will run into trouble if we have a shelter in place. Though the demand is so strong, I think we might see a reduction in the number of offers per property, but we'll still see those well-priced, renovated properties moving quickly. What does this mean for buyers? It means, as always, you absolutely need to be working with an agent because you're not going to see the property otherwise. You need to be working with a good agent who knows many of the other agents or the other brokers, and who can make sure that you are working with a well-respected lender, so that when the listing agent does their due diligence before presenting to the seller, they feel good about recommending you as a buyer because they know your agent and they know your lender. Okay, or at least your lender has a good reputation. What does this mean for sellers? It also means that you have to have a great agent who is preparing the property properly. And even if you cannot make all of the repairs that you would like to because you're budget constrained, what I would say is at the very least you need to make those cosmetic upgrades to the property that get you that HGTV look. And for all the plus and minuses for HGTV, that's where your buyer's mind is as far as what the house should look like. So if you want to maximize your dollars, you're going to work with an agent because an agent's going to know how to price the property so you can get the maximum number of offers and get the maximum number of bidding going on, and who also is going to say, okay, well, maybe we don't have to tear out the cabinets, but we certainly need to paint them white. And maybe that countertop isn't going to work. That Comica countertop with the scratches in it isn't going to work, so we're going to have to go for some kind of a stone in neutral color, and that can be a back and forth between yourself and your agent, a positive, fun back and forth as to what sort of ideas for renovation. I know with Coldwell Banker we have a program called Revitalize, or Real Vitalize, which basically allows for you as a seller to kind of borrow against your upcoming equity or your existing equity, to be able to make those renovations to really get your dollars. So, ask your agent if they have a program that will assist you in making those renovations. What I would also say is for this year in particular, if you're not already working with an agent or already on the road to selling, but you're thinking about selling in the next couple of years, make that phone call. Make it sooner rather than later. And the reason I say that is because even though there's a few conversations about lockdown, there's no schedule to do so, which means that we might have like a 2-3 week window here that we can take advantage of this strong market. And maybe you don't have to do as much as work on your home as you think you do. Maybe there's some quick things. Most good realtors can get your home ready in a week or two. And then certainly once you're ready, once the home is ready, getting on the MLS, getting those photos, that's an almost instantaneous process. So do what you can to try to take advantage of this market. Again, this is for sellers. For buyers, same thing. Because what's going to happen is prices are already appreciating. So waiting till October, which is, as you saw, where there's a second bump in the market, is not a good idea, because that bump, as far as offers and interest, is on top of the appreciation that's already occurred over the last couple of months. In addition to that, you would have been paying rent all of these months up until then. So you're actually spending some of the money that you could have been paying yourself to be in a property. So, as always, timing the market is always a bad idea. But certainly for buyers, if you are planning on being in the home a minimum of 2 years, and up 5 years and up, you're going to want to buy sooner rather than later, because whatever it is you're thinking is going to happen in the future is going to be those less offers and less closings, but that doesn't mean the price comes down. It just means the appreciation slows. But if the appreciation has already occurred by the time you're looking at the property and being able to want to make an offer, you may have put yourself in a situation where you can no longer afford the area that you were considering because you waited too long. And as I said, now if you're a flipper, my experience is, this is not your market. This is not your market because the prices are too high, and a lot of the people have got very smart about not putting a fixer on the market. Now, if it's like burnout or something that is really going to require some extensive renovation, then yes, we always see those properties, and that's the one I'm going to bid on. But certainly for, a first-time home buyer or vacation home or something like that, you don't want something that badly off. You just want something that maybe needs a little updating or that sort of thing. So that is the answer to the question. Now, I wanted to specifically answer the question at Dean Orbit from Instagram asked me, which was, what do you see for the last quarter of 2020? And what I will say is this amazing and great market that we have seen up until now, as a result of the normal business cycle, as well as everything that's going on right now, I think we're going to see less transactions. And also, I think we're going to see less inventory. So in terms of prices, absolutely, we're going to see a cessation in appreciation. Again, this is specific to Oakland. Further outlying areas might see some price depreciation. But certainly in Oakland, the demand is still strong. And what I've noticed sellers do in Oakland, because they understand real estate, is they start pulling their properties off the market. So if we get to October, end of October, Halloween is generally D-Day for real estate, people start pulling their properties because they know that it's not the time of year to maximize your return. Now, interestingly, I have seen a lot of new construction properties that will continue to list through October, November, December. And in some cases, I think it's because the properties were so, well, maybe not overpriced. I mean, because it might be worth it to you because you're going to be in the home for 5 years. But they're certainly making a profit. So they don't mind to keep it on the market through October, November, December, because even if they have to take, 20 grand off the price, they're still happy with their return, and they know that it makes more sense to take that 20 grand off the price in October than to hold the property all the way into February and March, when you don't know what February and March are going to look like. So there's a lot of interesting outcome based on what may happen based on the November elections. I neither want to get political nor want to peer into my crystal ball based on that. But what I would say is generally when there's a resolution in a presidential election, that's usually very good for markets. And certainly real estate is in the same category. So that's it. That's our peer into the crystal ball, looking back as well as looking forward. A bit of advice for buyers and sellers. If you like today's video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you have additional questions, something else you'd like to discuss. I'd also like to invite you to like my page on Facebook and Instagram, and those are found at Homes by Tia. At Homes by Tia on both Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for your time today, and have a great day.